Not him personally. That's a great angle, Molly.
Yeah. That's how I cover up my acne.
Perfect. That's perfect.
Like Kilroy was here.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, we are recording, too.
This is recording.
Shit, no.
We're live.
Well, we're not live, thank
What's happening in Podcast Town?
Molly needs to get her microphone closer. That's what's happening.
Cover up this zit. Perfect.
Mic technique.
Look at that.
Matt and
Can't
I
even
thank you.
See the zit on my chin anymore. Thanks.
Look at that. Pro tip.
Thanks, Sure.
These
Thanks.
microphones.
Zit concealer. Sure, zit concealer.
Double chin and a zit concealer. It's like...
All in one. It's expensive, though.
No, compared to
Yeah.
liposuction, I don't know, is it?
Comparatively, it works out.
Less risky.
Probably sounds better, too.
No one knows. Yeah. I've never heard liposuction, but I'm sure it's horrible.
Not as pleasant as you sound on that microphone.
Hey now. Especially now that I have it all up in my grill piece. The Marcus
Where-
the Paula method.
That's right. That's the method
That
to
is
have
it.
for microphones.
Where do we begin this week?
So many things.
Molly, let's hear it.
Well, hold on. I got to get my notes. I'm not ready.
You want me to get that phone at him?
Ready. But you know what? Okay,
think I
first thing we can talk about is the fact that Blinkist is doing podcasts. Like, are you guys?
I'm
Not
not
hip.
down with Blinkist. What is it?
Yeah. What? Okay, so Blinkist. This is the most like ridiculous shit ever. People love it. Blinkist basically takes like books and distills them into 15 minutes. So like, if you don't have time to read,
Like-
you
like
could
Crip
just
Notes.
like. Exactly. So it's just a little adult life hack, and for people who don't have time to read whole books, they can just like zing, zing it right in, 15 minutes, distilled, like a fine reduction.
So is this fiction, nonfiction books? What, like anything?
I think it's all book. Well, which ones
Cliff
the ones
Notes.
aren't true? Cliff Notes, yeah, not Crip Notes. But I was
gonna
going with
say,
it. I was like,
you must
You
have
know
gone
what
to
I
a different
meant.
school
Cliff
than I
Notes.
did.
I had to Google.
yeah. No, I don't think they do like, romance novels. They're like, she
Okay.
fell in love, he screwed her over.
They'd be all the same.
That genre is done.
Just put a different cover on it and stick it out there.
It's scarily accurate, sad, but true. Yeah, so they're doing that with podcasts now. They're going to distill podcasts into 15 minutes for people who don't have time to listen to the whole 20 minutes.
Oh, how are they going to do that?
Each episode?
Like
Like a set, like, say more.
everybody. I love that you've been hanging out with the kids who say less, and you're like, say more. That was hilarious. I'm trying to find the email that I sent you guys. I mean, it just came out. They just got funded, and where is it? Man, this
I'm looking
email
at it
chain,
here.
guys, is really long.
It is.
Are you looking?
It's the last
for
one
it
you sent
too?
us, though.
I know, but it's really hard to
Blinkist
find.
launches channel for shortcasts available through Apple Podcast subscriptions
short
in May.
casts.
So they're basically going to be monetizing other people's content.
100%.
Nice.
Genius.
How would they shrink down our podcasts, I wonder?
I'd be like,
I'd
Molly
love
talks
to
about
hear that.
Yeah. Molly rambles on about hallucinogenic experiences.
I was going to say, Molly does shrooms, chaos ensues, a
Again.
couple things about podcasting.
Yeah.
And
Make fun of Adam's microphone.
Adam
Make-
manhandles
make
his
fun of Adam,
microphone.
make fun of Yeti. The end.
Oh, wait, talk shit about Libsyn.
An Acast. Or not Acast, Anchor.
Anchor, yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, Acast, what they do?
No, sorry, I use Acast.
Sorry, Acast. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just, there's so many different things going on. And then this big study got put out this week about just the fact that, like, we should be wary of all these podcast monopolies. Somebody did like an independent study about it. And it is pretty interesting. I mean, we've talked about this quite a bit, but
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't fully understand how Blinkist gets permission from authors to do that either. I guess maybe the idea is if people listen to 15 minutes of the book or the 15-minute distilled version, that they're going to like it so much they'll be compelled to buy and read the whole thing, which sort of feels contradictory to the whole point of the...
Yeah, I wonder if this will actually work because, like, where's the meat? Like, that's the whole point of the podcast, right?
Well, right.
Yeah, so many podcasts, it's about the discussion, the exchange, like being a part of the conversation. It's not just about the information being conveyed, right?
For sure. And it's also like the comfort of somebody else's voice and, the familiarity of the relationship that you build with this, imaginary friend of yours, right, from listening to their podcast.
Exactly.
So it's like, I don't know. I don't really see how that...
Good luck to him.
But I don't know. There's
something to watch. Interesting move.
I mean, there's plenty of people who feel like they don't have enough time to do, whatever, cook their own food or brush their own teeth or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
you just described me.
I mean, I used to be one of those people, and then I
just said before we started, there's not enough hours in a day.
Yeah.
Blinkist is the answer.
Blinkist is the answer. And that's exactly who they appeal to, like the busy millennial, who wants to read, right?
Or listen.
Right? But you sound like my brother. But you, God, this email, my internet is so slow, and this email chain is so long.
It's not loading.
It's not loading at all. Yeah, I don't know. It should be interesting. I'm curious to know like who's behind Blinkist. It's probably some white dudes. It's always white dudes. But
it looked like it was a German company. I think it mentioned in that article you sent us that we'll put in the show notes.
Okay, and it'll be Shortcast available through Apple Podcast subscriptions, which is like a whole other thing, right? Like Apple just launched their subscription model for real.
Did the chaos end with Apple?
Nope. Still going.
Still complete pandemonium.
Yeah. Still shows disappearing and then coming back, and it's dumb. Very disappointing.
Do you lose all your data?
Nobody can access their data right now. Like, it seems like I can't, like mine just says coming soon, or, it's still processing your account. So my shows are still up, but I haven't tried. I guess I can log in and try right now.
So according to PR Newswire, which is basically their PR person wrote this.
Yep.
They are saying that Shortcast by Blinkist is a brand new audio format and game changer in the world of podcasting, which is a pretty hefty claim.
Yeah.
They're gonna short form podcast format provides fresh, bite-sized versions of industry-leading podcasts in around 15 minutes, produced in tandem with top podcasters. Shortcasts are perfect for curious podcast lovers who want to quickly discover new ideas and learn new things, but don't have the time. Shortcasts defeat the feeling of FOMO, given that there are so many great podcasts and not enough time to listen to them all. Is that really... Raise your hand if you've ever had FOMO from not listening to enough podcasts.
Raise your hand if you know what FOMO is.
Oh, FOMO. You don't know FOMO?
I'm old.
Oh, man, FOMO.
Adam's gonna milk this.
You're close.
FOMO. Faux.
You're right there.
I almost had it.
It's on the
Faux.
tip of your tongue.
Mo. Not to
Missing
be
out.
confused with foo boo.
Something
Bingo.
missing out.
Fear of missing out.
Fear of. Okay. I have
FOMO.
other fears, but I don't have fears of missing out on it. Obviously, because I don't even know what I FOMO'd on FOMO.
Now you know. Now you're gonna be.
Now you
Fuck,
got
I've
FOMO.
missed out on FOMO for so long.
What the hell have I been doing this whole
You've
time,
been
man?
missing out on the fear of missing out.
Seriously.
Consumerism has failed you once again, my friend.
I am old.
We're all old.
Adam's not old. He's young strapping
Getting
lad.
old.
Adam's aging rapidly in the retail music business, so
That's true.
I'm aging.
he'll catch up. Although we spend enough time.
How
in the
old are you
music
in
business.
retail years, Adam?
Seriously.
Older
though.
by the minute.
Seriously. Okay, yo,
God
did you guys,
bless you.
Did you guys hear about Dave Chappelle's new podcast?
Yes.
Did you listen to
I
it?
did.
Did you check it out?
One of my musician people sent it to me because I think he helped record it.
I just kind of
Cool.
love hearing his voice.
I love Dave Chappelle. Except when he's being a jerk.
But did you see what they did for the video on YouTube? They put like it's like a record player and a record spinning.
That's the video the whole time?
That's the video. And then it's like him and like Talib Kweli or like whatever, like crazy famous people talking. It's like, what? It's so cool. It's so cool. And I love that
check
they
it
made
out.
a video and they put it on, How to Inspire. And I love that they made a video, even though it's not even of them. And they could have done that because of production.
He's got a good
money.
voice.
Dude.
I'll have to catch the Blinkist shortcast of it.
Yeah.
Just a
Tell me
record
that's
spinning.
not fucking
That's cool.
amazing. Like, that is so cool.
Haven't there been podcasts that actually put their show on vinyl? I think there have been.
Just to make sure no one hears it. Like,
No, it's like a super fan, paid
yeah.
thing to make some money off of their people. And, as they should.
I mean, people are getting into record players. They're buying them again. So, like,
Yeah.
it's not crazy to think, So, speaking of theft of intellectual property, making money off of other people's content,
What now?
did you hear about pod clips?
No.
That's a rhetorical question, but pod clips. So it's a new set of podcast apps that offers clips of podcast shows as a form of curation. However, it appears today that it takes revenue and by clipping shows up removes valuable context. So they're basically just like clipping people's content, making money with it, getting ad revenue.
Question.
Boom.
What's the difference between pod clips and Blinkist?
That's a good question.
I'm not sure there is one. We talked about
Sounds
one
like
of
they're
them
doing the
before
same
the other.
Interesting that got a bad rap, but Blinkist is like huzzah.
Hey, new.
Because they're using
Save
Apple
time.
Podcast subscribe thingy.
Because they're doing it with Apple, and so if you screw
Yeah.
people over under the Apple banner, it's just like
You're a
business
hero.
as usual. Yeah,
Right.
just another day in paradise.
Apple, don't hate us. Don't hate us, Apple.
You
They're
can
not
hate
listening
me.
to this show.
Yeah. Yeah,
Please.
they're gonna delete us out of the directory tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know. Is there a difference? I don't know. Why does everything have to be so short? Like, how fucking stupid do we have to become? Like we can only handle like 126 characters or sound bites or 30 seconds or a minute of like we're gonna TikTok ourselves into literal extinction.
Boy,
We
if
will.
podcasts ever become like TikTok, what would that
Well,
be?
Blinkist is trying to.
Blinkist is
Yeah.
basically TikTok for podcasts, but TikTok is like crack.
Yeah. But I don't see a way of, I don't know. I feel like people just like having podcasts going in the background as they're doing stuff or like driving or doing dishes or mowing the lawn. It's not like I'm eager to get to the next thing. It's a lot of the rambly podcasts too. They're like way too long. It's just kind of like noise, but in a good way.
It's comforting for sure.
Yeah.
And right, so that begs the question, like, why are you listening to podcasts? So if you are listening to podcasts from the way that I listen to audiobooks, right? Like,
Right.
I listen to audiobooks that are going to teach me some shit and make me a better person, and that's all I have time for. Business and personal development. That is it. I'm
Yeah.
not reading any romance novels. I'm not reading any, grand works of fiction or nonfiction. I always get the two mixed up, right? I just want to be smarter. Clearly, I need it,
We all
I'm
do.
not listening to any fluff. I'm not wasting my time with it. I'm listening to it at 1.3. I'm actively listening to it like I am on a mission. So I guess if your mission in life is to consume as much podcast content as possible on a daily basis for whatever long period of time or for whatever reason, I mean, Cliff Notes were helpful because they were for a test, you know what I mean? And you could get the information, you really needed. But
Yeah,
nobody's
but
testing you. You're missing out on the good stuff by just getting
Right.
but I mean,
The
lots of people
highlights.
love it.
I guess that makes them feel like they're getting more, but they're actually just getting the shallow surface part of the information instead of the deep dives. I don't see the appeal personally, but
Well, and
I'm also not a typical podcast listener, so.
Yeah, I mean, for me, one of the biggest benefits of listening to podcasts or audiobooks is the mental elasticity. Like when I first started listening to audiobooks, I would have to rewind every 30 seconds to the point that I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I can't listen. I have the attention span of a water flea. What happened to me? And the more I listened, and anytime I found myself wandering off, I would rewind it and go back. It's kind of like meditating, right? It's super hard at first. Your brain's all over the place, but it's the process of bringing your brain back into focus. And so for me, the benefits of reading or listening to audiobooks or podcasts is so much greater than just the information I'm receiving. It's there's neurological benefits, there's psychological benefits. You know what I'm saying? I'm also gaining more knowledge and information. I'm thinking about other things while I'm listening. There's so many benefits. So I don't want the Cliff Notes.
Right.
Imagine the Cliff Notes for Game of Thrones. Whole family, they're fucking each other. This girl burns the town down with her dragon. It's
All of them dead.
this dead army. It's
That'd be
drunk
awesome.
history. I would be a good person for that. And not
One
just
of my
because I'm
favorites.
drunk right now. I'm just kidding. I'm not drunk. I'm kidding. It's more fun to joke about being drunk all the time than it is to actually be drunk all the time. But I feel like
Yeah.
if you joke about it enough, if you show up drunk, then no one's really going to be mad. They'll be like, oh, here goes Molly again. I'm drunk off turmeric. Madness. All right, so the last thing I have to talk about is how much money is in ad revenue. Did you see what the IAB, the old concrete shoes, you know what they had to say?
The concrete shoes.
$2 billion in ad revenue by 2023. Podcast revenue. Ad revenue.
I wonder if that's conservative.
The breakdown is pretty interesting. Dynamically inserted ads. This would have been great to talk with Brian Barletta about.
I know.
Dynamically inserted ads rose from 48 to 67% year over year,
Ooh.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that I was talking about with right? Me going to a platform. By the way, I tried to do a Spotify ad. I'll talk about that in a second.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
I didn't do it but I need one of the pros to help me.
You need Brian B.
No, I need one of you guys to help me record something that doesn't sound like crap. So I went to Spotify ads and I was like, I'm just going to try this. This seems like a cool platform. It's very cool. The layout's beautiful. And you go in and you hit your target. You do exactly what I want to do. You hit your target. You tell it what you want to do. You tell it they listen. You want to hit people that listen to podcasts, but also people that listen to business or whatever else. And you set your budget. And then it's hey, you can type the script here and then pick the type of voice actor you want, and we'll just do it for you. I'm like, well, all right. I will do that. That sounds for free. So I'll do this. I typed up a script. I pick your music. I'm like, this is great. This is super easy. I don't have to do anything. I'm going to have an ad. And I do it. And they get back to me. And it was definitely a robot. that read the things, and it
yeah.
sounded very Robotronic. Hello, welcome to Podcast Outfitters. This is your ad, and this is how it sounds. And I was like, I can't put this out into the world. This sounds really bad. It sounded like I went with a female voice, and I wrote this, and I said, say it like you mean it. And it sounded like someone with like a very thick, like Irish accent, but also kind of not real accent. Like I can't even explain to you the accent that it was. I got nothing wrong with accents. They had all kinds of accents on there. You could pick Australian. You could pick British. I almost went with one of those because you automatically believe British people. We've talked about this, I think, on a previous set.
I'm Irish, so not all of us. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
if you weren't drunk all the time, Molly.
So
Yeah, exactly.
cool platform. I should see if they actually. I said, just redo it. I said, just try again. See if it's in there.
Yeah, can we hear it?
Maybe.
I feel like the Irish accent is probably as bad as like me trying to do an Irish accent.
Yeah.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Like, what?
Did you hear it? Wait, did you hear that?
No.
No, I have to share my
No.
screen. Okay, I have it.
And so you did it on Spotify.
You did it on Spotify.
You do it on Spotify or in Spotify?
Okay,
In.
Marcus.
On. With.
Reel it
Grammar
in, buddy.
police.
Can you hear this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially when you put your hand on it like that.
This will work. This is going to work.
Sweet.
Brace for impact.
Done and done.
Offering the perfect gear for any podcaster. Microphones, mixers, headphones, and more. Podcast Outfitters provides free tech support and consultation to help you pick the right gear and get started. Visit us at podcastoutfitters.com today.
Outfitters.
That sounds like somebody from South America imitating a white person imitating an Irish person. Honestly.
Why is her voice so high?
I think because I said to be more excited.
That's disturbing.
Because the first one didn't sound quite. Let's go one more time. Because like it's kind of look. The music was there. The script was read. I just got a little issue, but that's why like I don't know if this is a human. Because if it's a human, if you're listening, probably not. Because there's only like a couple of you listening. I'm sorry, but
It's for all the robots that follow.
for all the robots that are listening, do better.
Do better, robot.
To start your podcast? Podcast Outfitters make it easy by offering the perfect gear for any podcaster. Microphones, mixers, headphones, and more. Podcast Outfitters provides free tech support and consultation to help you pick the right gear and get started. Visit us at podcastoutfitters.com today.
Wow.
Visit us. Very weird accent. It
That
reminds
is-
me of Small Wonder. You remember Small Wonder?
No.
And then you can go in and revise it, and you can say, okay, change the clip, and then I can say, these are my options. Update my script. Voice actor mispronounced something. I'd like a different tone or pace. I think the last time I said, I think I need a new actor.
You should ask for like a death metal male voice. Welcome to Podcast
So, like-
Outfitters.
I don't even know how to better.
You just got to have Marcus record it with his buttery smooth
Yeah,
voice.
I
of
can
God.
That's
record
what
it for
that's
you.
what I'm saying. Is that like it just needs to be done, like legit.
I'll give you a good deal too.
Welcome
Yeah,
to Podcast Outfitters.
Just kidding. I'll do it.
But
if you
like
send
it's
me
a
a
cool.
Neumann
I mean,
microphone.
like this is like it's a very, robots aside, it's a good platform, and I haven't been in other ones, but I don't know if they exist. Like you guys might know more than I do. Like it's a pretty cool. This is what as a business person that wants to advertise in podcasting, this is exactly what I want to do. If I had the content, then like I'd be spending tons of money in this, and I will do that.
So where would that ad play?
It would play, I guess, at like I guess it's going to be dynamically inserted ads in like the moments in between the podcasts that it allows for, or like in between episodes, like on the Spotify app or on Spotify online. When you've listened to so many minutes or whatever, it plays the ad. I guess if you're not on a premium subscription or something, it plays the ads in between. You can choose the graphic it shows. You can choose the text it shows. You can choose where it lands you. So if you click through, it could take you somewhere. But you pay for impressions. You pay for impressions. So it's not pay for click. It's pay for impressions. But like reasonably, minimum is like $250 for a campaign. And I totally would throw money in that and see what happens.
Well, I think you should, and we should track it.
I'm definitely going to.
We should record one for the podcast club.
Yeah. But I think that's great. I mean, I think that Apple doesn't have a facility like that is kind of interesting. Apple, like, you'd make even more money.
Well, I guess that's where like AdsWiz and all that comes into play, or the individual hosting companies like Libsyn or Podbean offering.
But that's why I like this, because I ride on top. This is going to be cool because I ride on top of all of those, right? Whether you're on Libsyn or anything else, like everyone's going to.
But only in Spotify.
Only in Spotify, but don't you everyone push shit out to Spotify?
Yeah, but Spotify is like 15% of the shows that I produce. 15% of the people listening listen on Spotify.
What's the most? Apple?
Apple's like 60.
So if you go on these other ones, are you getting inserted into them through the...
Yes.
Instead of existing in... So I guess the other question is, if you're allowing for Spotify ads, does the user hear both?
Yeah, if they're
listening... Is this
listening,
the ad that everyone skips?
People skip all ads. It doesn't matter. But
especially
if it's a robot voice, they're going to
skip
the hell
the ad,
out of that.
Right? Because isn't the ad that's actually
That's true. That's true.
Your podcast, it's in your podcast. Like you don't know when it's coming. Not like on a YouTube video where you can tell when the ads are coming, right?
Yeah, that's true, because you can't skip the Spotify ads because it manually overrides your playback when the ad's playing, like Hulu.
So, pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how valuable it actually is for your business.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting to try for sure, but if nothing else, just to hear that robot lady's voice.
Hello, I'm in danger. I'm a child. That's what it sounds like.
But yeah, I'll be happy to record an ad for you.
Me too, but only if I can do it in an Irish accent. Pip,
I can do mine in Portuguese if you want me to.
Top of the morning to you. Fuck's sake, what you doing on the couch? Should be calling podcast outfitters. That's the worst Irish. My ancestors just rolled over in their graves.
I personally, I see the appeal of just being able to type in the words you want said and them showing up as audio for you. But especially when it comes to podcasting in general, it is that human connection aspect of it. And the reason why advertising, getting back to the article that Molly's talking about, growing so quickly in the podcasting space, is because it is more valuable to actually advertise on podcasts, but not because you're advertising on podcasts. It's because the people reading the ads are usually the hosts of the show. And people trust those hosts because, like what we were talking about earlier, there's that personal connection. They feel like they're friends with them by spending all this time with them in their head. And so they will buy whatever they throw their way because the host is doing the ad reads themselves.
I wonder whose head I live in. I wonder if anybody ate mushrooms last week because of me.
You're right. You're right about that, and you make me just want to. I gotta do it. I have Roadcaster. I just gotta push the button and make it sound halfway decent and try it out.
The benefit, I'd be happy to make a great sounding ad for you, but if you want to build your brand and it's not the host reading the ad for you, having people trust you as the brand, so having your voice on it, so that they're doing because that every time I send somebody to Podcast Outfitters, I'm like, you got to talk to my friend Adam. It's not about you got to go to this website. It's, Adam will take care of you. So it's got to be your voice, I think, or the host's voice. The other thing to try would be to see if it's worth trying any anchor ads. But I don't know how many people are actually doing those, because those you can actually commission the host to read the ad itself. Because the one show that I did that was on Anchor, it's a pretty cool system too. You'll like it, and Anchor and Spotify are all the same company. But it has this process where they send you the script, and then you record it, you submit it as a host, you record it and submit it to the sponsor, and the sponsor approves, and then you do the dynamic ad insertion on the show, and you can spit it out to multiple shows as well, so that you can actually have approval of which shows it ends up showing up on, supposedly.
I think, Adam, there's real benefit in you recording an ad that's like, "Hi, I'm Adam Levin, and I'm the grandson of a 6-year-old family-owned music business in Washington D.C." And
Yes.
Maybe a little smoother than that, And they're like, and we've launched Podcast Outfitters to like answer all your questions, like for each, really personalize it. Hey, what's up? Sorry to interrupt your podcast. My name is Adam.
Yeah.
I've been in this
that's awesome.
business for 60 years, My great-grandfather got his start in microphones. So
Hey.
hey.
Didn't see you there. Sorry about that.
Oh, hi. Oh, hi.
Or did I hear
I'm
you
Adam.
there?
All right. I'm going to stew on that.
Because you are,
Just don't use that headset.
You go to or use it. It's part of your brand now.
It's on brand for Adam.
Guy in a microphone store using a headset.
I'll do it on a better microphone market.
So
I
the commercials
appreciate it.
worthy of a microphone, but
not the
our
podcast.
isn't? Yeah.
Sure is. Because this, I have to keep my desk all day.
I
wore this more hours today than I didn't.
Wow.
As many days.
Man.
Part of me now.
It's part of you.
You go home, you're like driving home in it.
Where's my headset?
You're sleeping in it.
Yeah.
That'd be a good commercial for whatever brand that is.
Oh.
Ready to work. Ready to work. Yeah, I think you should do a super personal recommendation like that. Nobody wants to hear that canned sales pitch. And it is super cool that your family has been in the industry for 60 years and you like grew up in a music store, and like that's just super personal, and I really like that, and I think a lot of people like that over Best Buy or Fry's or whatever the,
Or Amazon.
current business that's going out of business. Well, yeah, not Amazon. But yeah, it's better than Amazon. Like, hey.
But that's the thing, is differentiating yourself from Amazon, and that's why I tell people, yeah, Amazon can get it to you quick, but you're helping a actual human business.
Actual human business.
Yeah, family business, and Adam will take care of you. He if you have any questions, he can answer them, and he can make sure you get what you actually need instead of having to spend hours searching on Amazon's crazy search engine.
And he's not a reptilian overlord, so.
That's right.
Or is
For
he?
now.
For now.
For now. I like how you left the door open on that. It's good.
Question 2. I've been delinquent, advertising question. On our quest of advertising our podcast, I've been delinquent in posting, sending to Instagram. How do you get the video from Google Drive onto my phone so I can post it? Teach me.
You have to.
I'm
little dots.
old.
Isn't it?
That's my retail age showing.
Okay, don't worry. 3 little dots in the top right corner.
Yeah.
Save a copy. It's just like how you save any other file on those piece of shit iPhones. Hate iPhones.
And what, just go
Androids
straight to
are better.
Instagram with
And
it?
then save it to your photos. Oh, you probably could go straight to... Wait, maybe I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah, you might be able to share it straight to Instagram, but I
The
always just save it to my
Podcast Club.
photos.
Sharing it up.
The other thing would be to use a scheduling tool like Buffer. You use any of those things?
I have a social media team now. That's why our social media is good these days.
I do too.
It's on
Actually,
point.
it's my
It doesn't let
spouse.
me preview it though.
Yes.
All right,
Have
let me
you
try
seen our Instagram? We just started a new tile format with the team. I had them switch it up a little bit, and I think it looks
Nice.
pretty good. Really
Yeah,
just trying
Jen's-
to highlight the work that we're doing and not do any post about like, look at us, this is what we sell. Like, we don't do that.
Right, you're highlighting the good content that your clients are putting out.
And the stuff that we're making and making it look
Yeah.
really good and showcasing
Yeah.
them and tagging the right people in it. And
We're
Yep.
business.
what you could save a copy to Instagram?
Well, no, I saved it to my phone.
Oh, okay.
Now I'll post it on Instagram because I didn't like that I couldn't see it.
Jen scheduled that post for me. I don't know when it's going to go on my account, but she said she watched it so many times because it just made her laugh.
It's funny.
We are
I'm
funny.
gonna call it the Podcast Club.
Like, I forgot about that. We really need to change the fucking logo.
You haven't fixed that yet? Come on, Molly.
Me? You
have a
okay,
team.
I did make the logo.
I think it's too late now.
I think it is.
We ride together. We die
No,
together.
we have to fix it.
Rest in peace,
Nope.
DMX. Like, I don't know.
Check the podcast out.
We either have
The
to change the
Podcast.
graphic or change the name to the Podcast Club.
Listen, man. If you know, you know.
There's already one The Podcast Club. Sorry interrupting. There's already a The Podcast Club. We're the Podcast Club.
It's like in DC.
It's one better.
On H Street, there's like Danny's Takeout, and they had like fried rice and hamburgers and whatever, and then like a block down there was Good Danny's, and I just always thought it was and apparently it was like a family rivalry. They're like, fine, we're gonna open up our own Danny's, it's called like Good Danny's. Oh,
I love it.
I'm gonna get the
sometimes
bad
pettiness
Danny's.
is funny, when you're not wrapped up in it. Anyway, but yeah, I think the Podcast Club. That's it.
It stays.
You think it's okay?
It's too late. We're too many episodes in to give up now.
Yeah, we're like 14 episodes in. We're gonna go edit all those videos.
Edit it all.
Not edit the previous
Who's
ones,
got
just
the
moving
time?
forward, like replacing the graphics on the
We're gonna
show
confuse
itself.
our 4 listeners. How dare we? How dare we?
They
Yeah,
might
we
not
don't
be
wanna
able to
lose
find
them.
us anymore.
Mom, my mom won't be able to find me.
Oh my goodness!
All
I
right.
went on a date
It
recently,
shall
and he
begin.
was like, "Yeah, I watched your podcast." I was like,
Oh boy,
"And you're still here? That's I'm concerned for your safety."
He's a keeper.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, "Ooh."
That- That's
That's
kind of
embarrassing.
funny to think about, like moving forward as more and more people, because everybody's doing podcasts. Like instead of just Googling somebody, you're actually going and watching their podcast before you go on a
Yeah.
date or get a job.
You're
That's
like,
Yeah,
deep.
listen to your podcast. You're not hired.
yeah,
That's deep.
yeah. It'll be the new social media like gateway.
All right.
What a ridiculous thing. So Marcus, before we
Yes.
go, I heard you've been making some sound panels over there. You took a day off from welding your own cords. I see.
It's called soldering. Thank you very much.
My bad.
Forging your own steel to make the cables.
Under the light of the Nordic moon.
The fires of.
I might try welding though. That would be fun. I actually have not made any panels myself recently, but some friends of mine have been, and they've been asking me how I made mine because they knew that I recommended making panels to save money, because I spent less than $400 to make 12 fabric acoustic panels.
What do you
And-
fill them with? Molly's done that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I filled them
Big
with
uns.
mineral fiber.
What fiber?
Mineral fiber, which is rock wool, is one of the
Rock
brands. Yeah. What did you
Rock wool's the
use,
real
Molly,
deal.
for yours?
Well, we were in DC, right in the middle of the city, so I used weed in mine.
That's an expensive panel right there.
Not in 2017. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
It was
okay.
a good year.
Gotcha.
I'm just kidding. No, we used.
Oh.
I know. Adam's like, sorry, mom. Sorry, Adam's mom. What did we use? I feel like we used some sort of. Adam, you were there. We used
Was
some
it
sort
yellow?
of like a probably cancer-causing.
Oh yeah, they all cause cancer.
I never saw the guts of them. I just saw the finished product and it worked out.
Yeah.
How
well, so
thick
yeah,
were they?
We made. Well, what we did is we made. Was it 2x4s? Whatever, like the normal size piece of wood.
Took some wood.
Frame.
Yep.
And then burlap.
Uh-huh.
We did burlap on both sides, and inside I want to say we used some sort of like insulation.
Yep.
Some sort of insulation.
That's what
and then
mineral
the
fiber
burlap
is.
to contain it. And then, we used wires and we hung them kind of at an angle or off the wall so that the sound could get behind them.
Yes.
But then after we made those, because those are pretty cool, and we did a good job. I mean, we made like bass traps out of them. We really did it up in that first podcast studio. It sounded good up there, considering we
That's
were
awesome.
on U Street with like cars constantly going by outside. I mean, it was a nightclub across the street, and we still managed to like get all that out with those panels. But then for
Cool.
the recording studio we built, Jesus built these huge sound panels that were like 8 feet long by 6 feet tall.
Cool.
And then we built them and kind of angled them on the wall. So when you came in, there was like it changed the shape of the room. It was no longer square.
Nice. Yeah.
And that was a lot easier than like making like 16 little frames.
And then hanging each of them individually. Yeah.
They
I
looked
worked-
sharp too. They looked really good. We painted them dark
Cool.
gray, charcoal gray, and used black burlap. They looked really good.
Cool. Yeah, I am not an acoustician by any means. I actually dropped out of college. So I don't have any kind of credentials in any way other than just my experience, but I have been in a lot of professional studios and wiring them, including a lot of commercial studios here in Nashville, and I paid attention to what the guys were doing. But I also, I watched some YouTube videos like everybody else. But yeah, I used 1x4 wood, pre-cut from Home Depot or whatever, just have them cut it to length. And the rock wool they have for sale at our local Lowe's and Home Depot.
Rock wool, yeah.
4 feet by 17 inches or 16 and a half inches, because it's like made for a StudBae for construction.
That's my Twitter handle, actually.
StudBae.
Adam. I just like watching Adam's face. Anyway. It's not my Twitter handle anymore.
Doesn't exist. I'm gonna make it for you.
I really hope someone. I just turned so red. What just happened to me? I bet you somebody
man.
does have that handle though. I hope so.
If they don't, you better start using it.
Well, there's StudBae, which is StudBae, which is upsetting that's it. But let me try spelling it like Bay. Like
like
B-A-E,
Bay.
Bay.
Bae. StudBae.
I guarantee you someone's got that.
Oh, that's
It's
good.
not. Molly, you got to grab it.
StudBae.
StudBae. Of course,
can
the only
follow
people that
me
would
on-
get it.
StudBae.
You can follow. Starting tomorrow, you can officially follow Molly on StudBae.
You'll
on
get all
Twitter.
the construction workers following you and commenting.
It's just pictures of me with a
StudBae.
stud finder.
Yeah, and that's what you should do. It only
should be
post
in a parody
pictures
account.
of actual building
Yes.
studs.
Yeah. Like, I'm looking for my stud.
Because she's got so much
Look at
time
these-
to have a
look at
parody
these
account.
studs with the winky face and only link to like Home Depot listings of studs.
Stud finder.
Oh man.
Well, that's all we got,
Yeah.
folks. That's all you need to hear.
Next
Thanks
week on
for-
Tool Time.
StudBae. Next time on StudBae.
Sorry, Marcus, I derailed your whole.
No, it's all good. But that's why they're 16 and a half inches wide.
Whoa.
Just because
On StudBae.
the space between the wood beams and your walls is that, which is called a stud bay.
Ah.
The space between the studs, which are the wood vertical members of your
Vertical
house.
members. This conversation is just getting dirtier.
I know,
But
it's no matter what I say, it just sounds bad.
Hey, you're going there, man.
Oh man. So I built the frames to the size of that insulation, which is 4 foot by 16 and a half inch. So they end up being about 4 feet by 17 inches wide with the wood, and then wrapped them in fabric. And I used felt because it was the cheapest thing that looked cool. Burlap I didn't want to do because the mineral fiber is a little looser and it can kind of leak dust onto you through the burlap.
yeah.
So
You know, I when I was telling that story, I remembered when we got to the bigger ones, we actually used like a cotton spandex blend. So it was
Yes.
black and it had a little stretch to it because I found that kind of helped contain it.
yeah.
And yeah, I forgot about that. And it looked,
Yeah.
that's why it looked so much better too, because it wasn't burlap.
Wasn't
It
that
was like-
coarse? Yeah, because the burlap too ends up kind of pulling apart and stretching and stuff over time.
Yeah.
I've had friends that like for their home studios use that too, and it ends up sagging and kind of looking lumpy and stuff
Yeah.
after a while.
Like the guy from Wizard of Oz. What was his name? The Scarecrow. End up looking like the Scarecrow because he had like a burlap outfit. And on that note, folks, we are out of here. We will see you next week on the Podcast Club. Who knows what we'll talk about next? Anything is possible. Actually, Brian Barletta will be back for sure.
All right,
And,
I love Brian.
Wait. Pause. Monday's Memorial Day.
oh, I won't be here Monday. Sorry, guys. I'm flying home to America to get a vaccination shot.
Oh, that's right.
So are we doing it this coming? Thanks for talking to the Podcast Club. Catch you next time.
Hasta pronto.
See ya sometime.